Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you are out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to day 3 of the FINS Sports Network Day 3 draft coverage. A special episode of FINS Talk today on the FINS Sports Network. That's Fish Tank Hank. I'm Bobby FINS Talk. Give me a moment here. Uncheck this. Fish Tank Hank, before we get started, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Did you mute me?
I did. We hear the shh in the back. I was like, oop. I mean it, but it's all good. It is all good. It is all good. It is, hey, it's Saturday, day 3 of the draft. It's been a fun draft overall, not just as Dolphin fans, but football fans. I mean, my goodness, if you're a fan of the NFL draft, the Falcons taking Michael Penix on day 1, we were like, whoa, you know. And then the Dolphins at 21, they stay put. Where's talk, hey, are they going to trade up? Are they going to trade down? Are they going to go around? No, they stay put and they get Chop Robinson, edge rusher at 21. And then everybody goes, reacted to the edge, oh, we needed a tackle, we needed a guard, we needed this, and in the second round, the Dolphins say, hey, you know what? Let's go get our tackle. They go get Patrick Paul out of Houston. So it's been an eventful couple days. We're going on day 3 here of the network's draft coverage. Fish and Hank and I are starting this off. First off, to state here, the Dolphins didn't have any picks after round 2. They didn't trade up. They said they were looking into that. They never did it. All fair, because today's going to be a busy one. The remaining picks for Miami, they got in round 5, they got pick 158. Round 6, they got 2 picks, 184, 198. And then they wrap it up at 241 in round 7.
They're going to trade some of those, Bobby. They're going to trade some.
I wouldn't be surprised with the talent that's still on this board and going into round 4. I think you might be on the money. And Evan brought it up yesterday and the day before, especially with those picks for next year. They might tag one of those picks in. Some of the players. This is now the FINS Sports Network.
You got 2 round 5s next year, Bobby. You got 2
That's
round
right.
5s that you could plug one of those in and move up into something somewhere and do something.
Absolutely.
I guess.
Hey, look who's still on the board. I mean, if you go to, I'm going to post up FINS Sports Network on the clock's top best available. That will be updated throughout the day. But right now, of course, we know players like Jatavion Sanders is still on the board. TJ Tampa, corner at Iowa State. Cedric Gray. Here's some of this. Let me just post this guy. This is some. So Fish Tank, as you know, we got the draft show on FINS Sports Network with myself, Wingate, and Coach Vogel, and we watched film and we graded players based off us. So this is our graded top 5 remaining. Doesn't mean that any other players worse or better. This is just our top 5, and here it is. Best available at this time, at least the top 6. Troy Franklin out of Oregon. Javon Baker, Central Florida. Jacob Cowing, safety Bo Braid. Joe Milton, Cade Stover, Ohio State tight end. Jatavion Sanders, again, Joe Milton. I don't know when he's going to go, but I think if one of those later round picks, if he's still available, I would love to see him in a Dolphins uniform. Fish Tank.
I like Troy Franklin and Cade Stover off of that list that you had there. Those are my two to watch. Hopefully we'll get one of those.
Let me put this on here so I could edit this as we go, as picks are made. But get this off my screen. I've got so much to do, so little time. First off, again, everyone who's tuning in right now, Scotty, we got William of 305 Sports Now, Aladino, good afternoon. Everyone watching, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, X, Twitch, Facebook, we appreciate you guys and sticking through with us throughout this draft coverage, and of course, joining us always on FINS Talk today. Bobby, today is where all your hard work, film analysis is going to pay off. Brother, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. I've loved every second of it. I'm so thankful for everybody on the channel who's done this, who's helped with this weekend or this draft, especially, and everyone just so excited. And Fish Tank, I know, puts that stuff in. He's always doing the mock drafts and reading up on these players. He's doing his homework, and I love that I'm able to come on the show and I bring up a player and if I think, oh, maybe Fish Tank won't know this guy, Fish Tank goes, oh, I know that guy, because he's going round after round. He's on, well, so all the hard work everyone's put off, I'm very excited about. But anyway.
So you're just trying to thank me in front of everybody. Is that what it is?
If I had flowers, I'd give it to you. So
no, you guys from On the Clock have done a fabulous job with this whole thing, Bobby. You guys all four of you guys have really stepped it up this year. Good job, bro.
Thank you, brother. And I got to say, Josh Wingate, who's not going to be on with us today, but he's been on us with the full draft 2 days. The graphics, the for every pick and everything he's done. I don't know if he's watching right now, but again, I told him yesterday, and I'll tell him again. Thank you for the stuff he's been able to put on. Russell Swan, good afternoon. I would love to pick up Joe Milton from Tennessee. Absolutely. I would love that. Absolutely.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I'd take it all day long.
100%. Fish Tank, let me get this, because obviously we are Dolphin fans. When Chop Robinson was up, we did it with Cam Smith last year. We did it with Devon Achin. When picks are made, fans are going to react. You got that raw reaction because we've all had it. And Aldino, I'm getting right to it, brother. We've all had it where we have one guy or a couple guys that were like, man, I really want that guy. He's there. And then they go and get the other guy. It happens all the time. We're not smarter than them. We know they do their job, but we do our homework. We kind of know what we're talking about. Some fans weren't too happy.
We do.
At least we think we do. Some people weren't happy with Chop Robinson, and some people believe that there was a pick better than, at least a tackle, better than Patrick Paul. If you could tell me, I know it's been 24, 42 hours with Chop Robinson and 24 hours with Patrick Paul. Give me what your raw reaction was, and then tell me if you've had any change of heart or if you kind of matured on the pick 42 hours later or 24 hours later with Patrick Paul.
For me, with Patrick Paul, when, I was sitting there waiting, and Kyron was on the board. That's who I was looking at, was Kyron or Kingsley. Either one I would have been more than fine with. But then they say Paul, and I was like, wow. I kind of scratched my head, and I said, well, I don't really know Paul as good as I do the other two. I'm kind of surprised, And so I went back and researched again, because my first reaction was, wow, that one threw me off, just like the first pick. The first pick threw me off a little bit too. And I wasn't expecting Chop Robinson, but they got him. And I was like, all right, cool. We need a DE. We need a defensive end. So what difference does it make, So, he's giant. He's 6'7", like Scotty says, he's behemoth of a man and huge. It's not exactly like you want to take him and put him inside as a guard or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we needed that because obviously T-Steady isn't steady at all at being on the field. So, you need to change a little bit. So my mind's eye was just like, I just didn't know the player as good as other players that I wanted. So for me, I'm happy. We needed that position. We have two Miami Dolphins on two positions of need. Were they the players that I picked out? No, but that's why they have a whole staff of people. They have like 20, some odd people that go out and do all this stuff. So,
100%. 100%. Look, I will say first off, Kathleen, good morning to you. Kathleen, credit to Kathleen. She has been on every day and almost every hour of our draft coverage. I'm so thankful for her for sticking with us. Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com, Dolphins Thirsty YouTube is in the house. He will join us in a couple of hours to take over with Steve Malloy on our coverage and to continue our Dolphins draft talk. Look, first off,
let me just say fins up to everybody out there. Fins up, everybody. And
fins up, go Fins.
I want to, it's go Fins now, I guess. So I want to thank Kathleen also. Thank you very much. Rob, thanks for supporting us, bro. I appreciate you. Alan Dino, Scotty, 305. We appreciate all you. Hammer Time, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. And that's all the people I can see.
There you go.
So thank you, everybody else that I can't see.
But look, I understand raw reaction. We've been watching these players. We personally want positions filled up that we think is more important than the other. In regards of Chop Robinson, I was absolutely okay with that pick. I figured they would go edge rusher. Obviously, Latu, Verse, Dallas Turner, as he was falling, I thought, that's the pick. Because the writing was on the wall.
That would have been good, huh? I would have been like, woohoo!
I figured so, and the way the writing was going, we said, hey, it's going to be, and this, you were on, I was saying, when they said, hey, where do we think we're going? Edge rush, I go, look at Chop Robinson. He's still there. And they took Chop Robinson. So I like Chop Robinson a lot. When I watched his stuff, before I watched anything, I looked at his numbers. And at first I was kind of like, damn, man, this is a guy that people love and look at these numbers. But when you watch the film, holy crap, he jumps out at you.
Fast. He's got blazing speed.
He does. He is a speedster. I mean, he's aggressive. He's physical. He got some things to work on. Obviously, that's why he was the last of that group in that first round. But this is not some consolation prize. This guy is going to make an impact day one with Jalen Phillips.
When they announced him and I saw him on TV and his arms are just, he's a big beast he's a big man. And some people are going to have a long day with this guy.
Yeah. And I liked it. Now with Patrick Paul, full disclosure, I haven't. Thank you, Rob. Rob's letting us know Troy Franklin is off the board, and Jatavion Sanders as well has come off the board. Let me go ahead and pull this up very quick.
That didn't take long, did it?
Didn't take long at all. The Carolina Panthers took Jatavion Sanders, tight end, out of Texas, and Troy Franklin goes to the Broncos, wide receiver. The Patriots are on the clock.
Gray is still there.
Patrick Paul. Though. Yeah, Patrick Paul. What I will say about Patrick Paul is that, again, I had a third-round grade on him. Obviously, the size I love. He's athletic. Again, another guy who's very fast, quick, things to work on. Now, again, just because I had a third-round grade doesn't mean it was the wrong pick for Miami. Obviously, Miami had him higher on the board. But, again, you look at that size, and you go, man, but we needed a guard. And Chris Greer said, it's not at least for the first picks for him, it's BPA. Now, again, might not be our BPA, but it's their BPA. And he goes, we draft for need later. Well, we don't need a tackle. He wasn't drafted for need, but you also have to think about the future next season. Terron Armstead, first off, doesn't last more than 8 games, and he's going to be gone more than likely next year. Now you have a plug-and-play center. You don't have to waste a pick next year on a tackle. You got your tackle. You got your guy. He's there. He learns from one of the best in Terron Armstead. He learns a season under Butch Berry, and next year he's under second season with Butch Berry. It's long-term play, as Rob just stated in the comments. Where Chop Robinson is the same scenario. You go, but man, we got Shaq Barrett, we got Bradley Chubb, we got Jalen Phillips. Well, first off, Bradley Chubb, we don't know when he'll come back. We're hoping, everybody's saying mid-season. We don't know. We don't know until they say it. What I do know is that Bradley Chubb has a high contract number in next season. After next year, he's most likely gone. Now, he leaves next year. You don't have to worry about drafting his replacement. You've got it in Chop Robinson. Okay, you bring back Jalen Phillips, you got Chop Robinson. You got a 1-2 punch. The Dolphins settled next year's needs while addressing this year's depth. Solid draft so far for Miami. I'm not going to say it's A, B, C. I'm not going to go crazy with A, B, whatever. C plus, because we think there were other guys on the board they could have gotten. But again, this was not a bad draft so far by the Miami Dolphins.
Well, I got him with a B if we're going to throw grades and letters
Go
around.
for it.
I got a B. I like Chop. I had heard a lot about Chop Robinson before. And even some of the experts were picking Chop Robinson for the Miami Dolphins, actually, in the first round, and they picked him. So it wasn't a surprise that he was picked to me, because I had watched where other people were saying he might go to Miami before the draft, but I didn't think he was going to. That's why I was shocked. Like you said, I thought it was going to be somebody else. But just because I think somebody else is better doesn't mean that the team does. And, that's the whole thing about the draft. It's opinion-based. The whole thing is opinion-based. It's an opinion on who you think is better. It's opinion on everything. Every part of it is an opinion. And we have to go with what Chris Greer's opinion and what Mike McDaniel's opinion is on these players. And for me, it works. We solved two positions of need at the same, 1 and 2 right in a row, and while getting some great players. I'm happy. I give it a B. That's why I got a B, Bobby.
I love it. Let me go ahead and I'm updating this as I'm going here, even though it could change, but I want to, just in case I pop it back on that screen here for our best available. But right now, Patriots have chosen. They took Texas A&M guard Layden Robinson to go to New England here. Let's make sure. Perfect. All right.
I have my TV on, but I'm not actually paying enough attention to the picks.
Yeah, well, you know how it is when is with this draft day 3, it kind of goes all over the place. The picks just keep rolling. So we'll just go here along with it, Fish Tank. I'll have it pulled up, the picks as they fall in. And, if you see it before I do, let me know. Who's the best safety still available? Well, Scotty, for me, according to the On the Clock best available, it's Bo Braid. Bo Braid is the best available right now. Out of Maryland,
because I don't know.
Jaden Hicks is still there.
Where's
Bo
from?
Braid is out of Maryland, Fish Tank. Maryland.
All right.
Out of Maryland. Jaden Hicks is there. I like Jaden Hicks. There's still some very good safeties still on the board. Yeah, that's what I said. Lamb retires after this year. Who knows on Armstead. Yeah, Josh Wingate following up there on Facebook. Appreciate him still tuning in. Big Evan Williams guy, and that could be later in the draft as well. And Miami, again, Miami could go safety with within the next pick, whatever pick they pick next. We got Jordan Poyer, we got Javon Holland, but Miami still wanted to bring back Deshaun Elliott. They could get Deshaun Elliott's replacement with one of these picks.
I like the tight end Jared Wiley out of TCU.
Yes,
I like him if later on.
Yep.
Yeah, with one of the later picks, I like him. If he's still sitting there, I'd love to see him take him too.
Let's see. Who are we talking about, Rob? You said not ideal to move on from him after giving up. So I'm assuming you may be talking about Bradley Chubb, right? Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but with that money so high, especially after you get Chop Robinson, it makes a lot more sense. Unless, of course, they renegotiate his deal and then extend him and lower it. But good point from Rob, as always. Again, Rob, Dolphins Thursday YouTube channel, guys, on almost daily during the week at 10 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Eastern time. Check him out. Great content there. Great Dolphins content. And, of course, Real Talk Fins Talk on Tuesday nights. But he'll be Real Talk Fins Talk. The Real Talk Fins Talk crew will hop on after the Fins Talk Today crew to continue our draft day coverage in the next couple of hours. But So
just put it out there, Bobby. Come on. That's a lot of info, bro. You're doing a great job, man.
I'm trying, brother. I'm trying.
Because I see your head just bouncing around.
Yeah, forgive me, Fish Tank. You know what I'm doing, brother. I am going all over the place here. Forgive me.
I'm just trying. There goes the safety right there.
Oh, I love this kid. DeAndre Taylor Demerson out of Texas Tech.
Yeah.
This is a guy who, if you follow the other draft boards, he was lower in the draft, and people go, oh, but he's going in the 6th and 7th round. BS. When you watch this guy's film, he jumps out at you. I like him a lot. What a pick by the Arizona Cardinals to a kid out of Texas Tech, the safety. First safety off the board in the 4th round, and that's Demerson.
They're starting it up.
Hey, they're starting it up. I'm loving every bit of this.
Cardinals loaded up this year. Holy mackerel. Marvin Harrison, Robinson, Melton, Benson, Adams, Ream, Jones, Taylor Demerson. That's all the Cardinals picks so far. Holy Hall.
Yeah, Rob, I don't have it on my TV. Day 3 is all kind of messed up because day 3 they go to different cities and they go to schools and different things, and then they skip picks because they're talking about people's drafts. So I was just like, okay, I'll just have on my screen here the picks as they're falling in. I'm following ESPN's draft tracker. My son is on TV here, taking over my TV. He is playing baseball, MLB The Show. Right now, 2024. He's playing that. The Marlins versus the Diamondbacks. So I'm not gonna be able to follow it on the TV anyway. So, but I know. Don't worry. And that was one of the rules I put in place. But for today, it's a little harder. So we'll just keep rolling on here. Yeah, the show is amazing. It's a fun game. I love it, especially, it gets people that don't really know or like baseball, gets them into baseball. My son loves it. We have a blast with that game. Are you sure I have a blast with it? Not Tristan, because he gets beat down bad. But anyway. He goes, are you sure I have a blast with it? He's like, no, but he's playing it now. But let's see here if there's anything going on.
So, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Bobby, who are they going to pick next?
Who, Miami?
Yeah.
We gotta see how it kind of plays out until their next pick, which is 158. But again, here we go. D-Tac.
You have any just guesstimates? I mean, we've already picked 2 positions, so that kind of narrows our needs down a little bit. He says he doesn't pick for needs in the beginning. He might be picking for needs around that time. So that's we know Miami is look, safety makes a lot of sense. Okay, they wanted to bring back Deshaun Elliott, they didn't get him. Makes a lot of sense for a safety to might be a target in round 5. But we know how desperate they are at getting a wide receiver 3. They are trying to. They talked about OBJ. They talked about Tyler Boyd. Look, again, there's still talent at this wide receiver spot in this draft. Javon Baker out of UCF, Central Florida, is still on the board. I think Anthony Gould.
Anthony Gould's still on the board. There's plenty of guys here that Miami could get.
With this new return game, Bobby, it might be a good idea to get somebody like an Anthony Gould or a return specialist. That's just my opinion. But
Luke McCaffrey fell off the board in the last pick yesterday. Fish Tank. That broke my heart. I think he would have been. But look, receivers still on the board. Brandon Rice, Javon Baker. Brandon Rice is Jerry Rice's son, Southern Cal. Javon Baker, Devontae Walker out of North Carolina, which Brett of Caneswear, who was on last night, said that was one of the receivers that he would love for Miami to target. There's a lot of good players still there. And again, as Fish Tank has brought up, Anthony Gould, of Oregon State.
Cornelius
D-tackle.
Johnson.
Cornelius,
Mustafa.
yes.
Malik Mustafa might be available.
And look, talking about D-tackle. Scotty, great point. Brandon Dorius, defensive line. Taylor Davis. Christian Boyd, someone in the Miami Dolphins met with. Leonard Taylor from the Miami Hurricanes. Could be a late-round pickup. I'm sick of having no picks in the draft.
Taylor Davis out of Clemson. Yeah, I like Taylor Davis.
Well, the good thing, Daniel, we've had 2 so far, and we got 4 today. So we'll have some picks today, and next year we'll have a lot more picks, which is exciting, unless, of course, Miami uses some of those picks to move up into the 4th round. But yeah, there you go. That's the pick right now for Miami that we're waiting on. We're in round 4 right now. The draft should move on pretty quick, but round 5 is pick 158.
Whoo! And that's what we're talking about
11
now.
Next
Who do you
year.
think it'll be, Bobby?
I can't tell you who I think it's going to be, but the 3 positions I think are right on with everybody: safety, receiver, or defensive line.
All right. And from those, around our pick, I like Cornelius Johnson, who's out of Michigan. I like Malik Mustafa, safety out of Wake Forest. And defensive lineman, I like Tyler Davis.
Tyler Davis. And the Chargers picked the defensive tackle, Alabama, Justin Abujibi. I'm butchering the name, but Abujibi.
It's all right. I can mess up Pan, so call it Nap.
That's right. Hey, you know what? He's not on the Dolphins, so who gives a damn? He went to the Chargers. Who cares? I'm never going to say his name. You know, I'm not going to say his name. Who cares? Oh, man.
Talent left, though, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at it, and it's like, I'm getting sick. Just watching it all go by.
We're just moving along.
That's all right. So, how does everybody out there feel about the draft so far? How do you folks feel? You know, chime in, tell us what you're thinking as far as how you feel it's gone so far. Did you like the 2 picks? Did you hate the 2 picks? You already got our response on them. Boyd at wide.
Yeah, and I will say Tyler Boyd as a receiver 3 from the Bengals. And in the guard, everybody's saying we still need a guard. Yes, we do. But remember, Dolphins talked to a veteran guard. I think Dalton Reisner makes a lot of sense for Miami after the draft, maybe post June 1st. But we'll see how that goes. There's still talent there. But there's a few plug-and-play guys overall, not just offensive line. Here we go. Linebacker. Cedric Gray out of North Carolina off the board goes to the Tennessee Titans.
That was one I wanted from Miami, but, you know, there's a lot I want from Miami. There's still plenty of players, but that was one of my later round if we get real lucky.
Man, TJ Tampa still on the board. That's crazy. That's a really good corner on the board, still there in round 4.
That's great. Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, I doubt he'll be there in 5, but we'll see.
You can always dream, Bobby. You can always dream.
100%. Did James Williams? No, Williams, I don't believe is drafted. I know Cam Kitchens was drafted yesterday. He was the first Hurricane taken. Let me take a look now just to confirm. I don't think he was. James Williams is still on the board there, William. And then again, that would be a good pickup.
They could
linebacker, play safety.
They could go for a Jeremiah Bell or a Holker at tight
Jeremiah
end.
Trotter's still there. Jeremiah Trotter's still on the board, though, too.
Ooh, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. Man, there's a lot of, I'm sitting there looking around where we're going to pick, and wow, there's a definite possibility that they might take a wide receiver because there's so many. Wow.
The 2 picks for us were fine, but I would have traded down on both picks to get a 3rd and a 4th. Tim Bowman. Tim, first of all, thank you for watching, my man, and good points. That's fair.
I would have done the same. I would have at least.
And not hating on the picks, but I'll say, yeah, I think the probably in that second one, if you would have moved back a little bit, you probably still would have got Patrick Paul. But I think the Dolphins played ahead because they saw the way the draft was going with tackles, and they said, we got to go get our guy now. Let's go ahead and make this pick now. And that way we know he's not going to be gone later. Go ahead, Fish Tank. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So what do you think is the biggest need we have left, Bobby? You think it's the safety then?
No, for me, I would say obviously guard, because we don't have somebody really there to plug in for Robert Hunt, but there's no one available. I think you could put as a plug and play player. You can still draft a guard, but I wouldn't say he's a definitive starter. I'd look the veteran route at that point. But if you were to tell me either the draft, because I still think there's plug and play guys who could be a receiver 3 right now, it would be wide receiver. I think obviously TJ Tampa somehow, some way, which I highly doubt would be there. If he's still sitting there in round 5 at Miami's pick, and I know people don't want to hear it, but I would definitely be okay with that pick. But right now, if you're telling me, Bobby, which one is the bigger need and where would you go with this next pick? Kind of just thinking plug and play, meaning a guy who could come in and make an impact day one, it'd probably be the receiver. Safety is there because there's some good safeties. Again, Hicks is still on the board, Bo Braid, and they can make an impact. So that's 2 plug and play positions I think can make an impact for us.
Scotty sees safety.
There you go, safety, and then Kathleen's his wide receiver. Will of 305 Sports Now, who covers the Hurricanes and the Dolphins, and I mean he's a great channel, guys. If you love Miami sports, if you love the Miami Hurricanes, go check out 305 Sports Now on YouTube. He says you could play James Williams. He's a hybrid. He could be a linebacker or a strong safety. He reminds me of, and I'm not gonna say reminds me one for one, but just the hybrid type of role reminds me of I'm forgetting what school, I think it was Clemson, Isaiah Simmons, who came out of Clemson some odd years back and was drafted by the Cardinals. He was a safety and they transitioned him to linebacker. So Williams is one of those guys, and trust me, I would love to see a James Williams on a Miami Dolphins or a Taylor at defensive line. I love to see Hurricanes on the Dolphins. We have two draft picks selected here. The Giants selected tight end out of Penn State, Theo Johnson. And the Minnesota Vikings selected Kyrie Jackson, Oregon corner, defensive back. So there you go. Do you see us trading back into the 4th to get someone? I think when you're in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, you're going to see a lot of movement. I think it's highly possible Miami could move because it's not going to cost as much. And again, you think of the receiver, safety, D lineman. I think, Miami could say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get up and go get our 3rd receiver here. Is there anybody that they love more than an OBJ or a Tyler Boyd? Both those guys may want a little too much money for Miami's taste. So, yes. Can I see them doing it? Yes. Do I think they will? I'm not sure. They may just want to see how the draft falls to them. Atlanta is on the clock, at least from what I've seen here. Could change. Let's see here. We're at round 5, pick 8, 108 of round 4. Excuse me, yeah, round 4, pick 9 now. 109 for the Atlanta Falcons. I wish I could click on their name and it would tell me, but it's okay. Always. Kathleen, what are you talking about, Miami Dolphins jersey? I saw you say that a couple times. What does that mean? What are you trying to say there? If you could clarify for us so we can How much time between picks there? I don't know, but it's going pretty fast. It's moved along pretty quick for me, at least as I think so. We should have Mike Brown joining us shortly.
There goes a D tackle.
Let's see here. Let me respond. There you go. Defensive tackle Brandon Dorius of Oregon off the board to the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go. Let me respond to this message very quick. If Adam Beasley writes, if Tulia Tagovailoa is on the board at 241, should the Dolphins take him? So let me just specify this. Evan was joking about this about Tulia as on the Dolphins. Undrafted free agent, I could see it. Drafting him in round 7, no. If you're going to draft a quarterback as just a project or the groom or as your backup or whatever, first off, Michael Pratt's still on the board. I know a lot of people. Some people like Rattler. I'm not too sold on him, but I guess I could be. Joe Milton is that guy. Joe Milton is the one who I'd be all up for. Josh Kimmel. Yeah. It would be great to have Josh Kimmel on. He comes on at 1:00, Fish Tank, for our fantasy football fans there he'll obviously he's a Dolphins fan, so he'll touch on his thoughts on Miami's picks, but also the fantasy football impact the draft has had on some of these players and what some people could who's in the best situation, who's not. I look forward to him coming on. He's not gonna be on too long because he's a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, and they got a game today against my Florida Panthers, who are up 3-0 on the Tampa Bay Lightning. So how many of your top 50 are left? Wingate had this. If Wingate's still watching, he could respond in the comments. He had it yesterday. He had told me that we had a good handful. A lot of our players were selected, the ones that we had on our board, which was so awesome to hear. But there's still a handful of them left. I'm trying to see. I don't want to mess up his thing here. It's his file here, but I know Franklin is gone. Let me see. If I highlighted this, will it tell me? Okay, I could do this. Hold on. So let me see if I could try this, guys. Bear with me. Let me try this very fast.
What are you trying to do?
Oh, I'm responding to Scotty. He's asking me how much of our top 50 is still available. And I want to be able to answer him if I could do that. Just give me a moment.
Scotty makes some great points. He's
Scotty's awesome, dude.
He's saying exactly what I'm thinking half the time. Like a lot of these players are going earlier, that you thought would be around a little bit later. But then again, you still have a bunch of players that are sitting on the board's starting to mix up a bit. And that's when I like it. That's when trades are made. And I like that. I like that there's players out there that we still can get a hold of. I mean, we named all these positions. There's plenty of players.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
I'm still leaning toward Cornelius Johnson. I think that's who it was, out of Michigan. I really hope that we get him. I think that's who it was. He's out of Michigan. See. DT. I was trying to get Scotty as a guest on my channel. Yeah, Thirsty. That's a good idea. A little bit of Scotty goes a long way. I like having Scotty around. Fins up, Scotty. So I guess it's go Fins now. So I saw the draft cap. It said go Fins. I didn't get the draft cap. I was a little not happy about the fact that they're changing Fins up, especially being it's all over my car.
Okay. Javon Baker, Central Florida wide receiver, off the board to the Patriots. That burns my nostrils. Patriots get a good one right there, man. Damn it.
Who'd they get?
Baker, the guy, my receiver, top receiver there that was still on the board. Off the board there. Let me update
I don't like these. That means problems for us.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Every time I look up, there's some blonde chick on there screaming and yelling. Get a little diversity in there, would you? Come on now. Packers are killing it too, man.
Oh, they are for sure.
Golly, they just got a linebacker.
I am. Who's the linebacker, Fish Tank?
Hopper out of Miz.
Tyrone Hopper? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that was yesterday. Okay.
Who's this guy? No, that was the last guy they selected. They're getting ready to select Green Bay. Safety, Evan Williams. That's who they took.
Oh, Evan Williams. Okay, that was Josh Wingate's guy off the board there, Evan Williams. So
two-time
good. I could take
team all-conference, 4.5 sacks in 2023.
The Packers have had a solid freaking draft, man.
Yeah, second team all Pac-12. So
Chris Broswell, I think, was taken. So those are the two guys, and it's Cedric Gray now is the other one. I'm updating this.
Paul has 42 starts at left tackle. I believe this move is 100% Armstead replacement, meaning he will be training at left tackle always. I don't expect to see Armstead at all during preseason, my opinion. That's a good opinion, Scotty. Good opinion.
Unless someone else is taking off my thing here, I should be able to tell you, Scotty, these numbers. I think I've cleaned it up.
Hold on, we got a question from Anthony. Bobby and Hank, do you think with drafting Patrick Paul, maybe there's a possibility they're going to push AJ into guard and have Patrick play right tackle? No. My answer to that is no, Anthony, because at 6'7", he's a big beast of a man. Paul is, and I think that they specifically brought him in, like everybody thinks, to plug and play here and there throughout the season on the left side, just in case our starters go down, which Armstead is. We know he's not steady. So, what do you think, Bobby?
No, I agree with you, Fish Tank. I think they're going to try to get a veteran guard. I think I would not sleep on that happening if they don't get a veteran guard, especially if Patrick Paul shows up at camp and does a great job. But I'm with you, Fish Tank. I can't see them doing that. They did that move to do that. No. Austin Jackson grew into that role last year. He did better than he has. He's growing into it. He's in his second year under Butch Berry. I don't think you mess with something that's not broken. I think that's a very last case scenario for the Miami Dolphins is to move Jackson inside. I think this guy was drafted to sit behind Armstead, to be the go-to guy when eventually he is out. Obviously, Kendall Lamb is there, but
Ravens took my guy, Bobby.
Who's that?
Devontae Walker, the wide receiver.
Damn, there you go, Devontae Walker. So our board for Scotty, who asked earlier, as I'm cleaning this up, is getting shorter. Scotty, I think about, I'd say 30, a little bit of 30-plus players still on the board here for us.
Just watching these players go when we should have some picks, and just it's kind of firing me up a little bit. I'm trying to be
that's right
still about it, but it's
And don't forget, for those who are talking about the tackle, a spot and guard, Jack Driscoll, who could play both. He could be somebody that they rotate around a little bit, a veteran player who's had some starting time. Outstay themselves knowing they're really often. Okay. Bagging up. Appreciate you watching. I don't want to miss anything here.
All right, Rob. We'll see you around 2.
There you go. See you at 2:00, brother. Thank you. See Rob pop in here. He has some stuff to do. Yeah, Scotty. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Jack Driscoll's that guy. He's going to be the backup guard or a starter if they can't get a guy. Let me update this very quick. There it is. Put this in front of the screen for a second. And hopefully, yeah, you got the Raiders took Mississippi State corner DeMarcus Richardson before the Ravens pick, who of course took Devontae Walker.
Who's coming in at the top of the hour, Bobby? We got anybody coming in at the top of the hour?
Yeah, Mike Brown should be joining us shortly.
Doc Brown.
Yeah, Mike should join us shortly here. The Hebrew Hammer, as he likes to be called, the Hebrew Hammer, or he used to be called. That's right. Let's see here.
Well, I'm different. I like to be called Hank.
Fish Tank. Fish Tank, Hank.
Throw that in there too. When I meet people, I don't know whether to tell them my name's Fish Tank Hank or Hank. With the car and all, I never know what to tell them. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So let me go ahead and pop this up here.
Hey, Bobby.
Download. Yes, sir.
Can you do me a favor one day and just send me the link to the FINS Sports Network?
FINS Talk Sports Network?
Yeah, would you send me a link? Because I want to. Somebody keeps asking me to send them the link to our
YouTube
channel.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah. I got you.
So if you would send that to me at some point in time, because I don't know, mine's it's in there. I just hit a button and we pop up. So
I got you. I got you. So let me right now, as it stands right now, here is the FTSN's best available players. Remember, we got 6 in here, and I'll update it as we go. But currently, wide receiver Jacob Cowing out of Arizona, Bo Braid, safety out of out of Maryland, Joe Milton, quarterback out of Tennessee, Ohio State tight end Cade Stover, TJ Tampa out of Iowa State, and safety Jaden Hicks out of Washington State. Right after that, of course, is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson. Those are our best available currently for the Miami Dolphins in this draft.
Wow, you got 3 good ones at the bottom there. I like.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's see as this is going on here. Moving right along. I would love that if I, obviously if not given much, I would love to go to Twitter and see Dolphins have traded up. Like, yes. Not yet. We gotta wait.
Tough, man. It's tough waiting.
Wow. It is. It's just a good thing I'm a draft fan and a football fan that I just love watching it all in general. Siobhan Baker off the board. That's tough.
Yeah. I'm a little I don't know. Maybe I need to eat something. Let me get a snack here real quick.
Go ahead. We're here for a little bit, so it's good to go eat.
I'm not going anywhere. I just want to get a snack.
I get it. You go, my man. You go. I love it.
I got my hot mama over there who's going to hook me up with a snack.
There you go, brother. There you go.
Maybe some kind of something.
So, let's see here. And there we go. We got the one and only host of Once Upon a Sunday, the fantasy football show, and Real Talk Wrestling, Josh Kimmel. Right now, we're on the same team when it comes to the network. We're on the same team in terms of football. When it comes to hockey, we're on opposite sides here. And, of course, he wears the enemy gear. But the one and only Josh Kimmel. My brother, how are you, sir?
What's going on? Can everyone hear me? Because I cannot hear myself.
I hear you good.
I hear you good.
What?
If you want to get into that, we can get into that. Can you believe Bianca Belair was the number one pick last night? Insane.
It was. I'm a little disappointed, guys. So there's 2 drafts going on last night, and I obviously following NFL, and Josh would be following wrestling. I didn't get to. My son usually fills me in, but he was asleep before I got off. But I did see the WWE had their draft. Fish Tank's like, what the hell are they talking about? Man, it only looked like 2 people changed brands. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
It didn't to me either. So, full disclosure, I didn't watch. I went fishing last night at the pier, Tampa Bay Pier, and it was fun.
I saw you got a big one. You got a mass.
There was a lot of bites. I caught one fish, but hey, one is good enough. That's more than I've ever caught in my life. That's it. I was the first person to catch. So I'm like, I retire. I'm done. You guys have your fun. But Bianca Belair stayed on SmackDown. Raw kept Uso, Jimmy Uso, Carmelo Hayes. He was a call up, but we expected him to go to SmackDown. Seth Rollins on Raw. Nothing happened. So
it was nothing that excited me when I looked. I was like, I was ready to see some juice. So that didn't excite me. We'll see what happens on Monday night. But the draft has been fun. And what's good for you, you are a Dolphins fan, but you're also a football fan. And I know you follow this for 2 different reasons. Obviously, you want to find out what the Dolphins are doing, and you want to know about fantasy football, how the draft impacts next season's fantasy football or the dynasty that goes all year, which you taught. So first off, before we get into the impact of fantasy football, Dolphins take Chop Robinson out of Penn State, edge rusher. Then they get a tackle, Patrick Paul out of Houston. I know you've been so busy with fantasy football kicking ass on One Upon a Sunday, Real Talk Wrestling. I know you've had not a lot of time to do a lot of things, but just initial raw reaction, your thoughts on those 2 picks.
Good. I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you brought that up, that I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this draft. So as a fan, not content creator, not analyst, not expert, just as a fan watching the draft, watching the team, I'm thinking, okay, Chop Robinson, good pick. They traded for Chubb. He's done absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Phillips went down with that gruesome injury. They need someone to fill this void. So I'm okay with that. Like, what else are you going to do? I know there was teams interested in Chop Robinson. Didn't know much about him coming out, but we really needed somebody on the defensive side to get pressure on Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Always great to get pressure on a rookie quarterback in Drake May in New England. So why not just beef up that off our defensive line, get some pressure, get some edge rushers, and make Josh Allen throw more interceptions. Maybe make Aaron Rodgers run for his life twice a year. I'm okay with that pick. As far as the offensive tackle, don't know much about him. Always great. I've been preaching this since day one on this network. Protect Tua. He's your biggest asset. The best, the reason why you win football games. Without him, you don't win football games. Protect that guy. make sure he stands upright. We don't want the injury problems. Like, we didn't see anything last year. He was great last year. So why not keep on protecting him? But am I wrong? Armstead's still here. Don't really need to tackle this point. So it's more of like a next year kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of an insurance policy. We know Armstead is more than likely retired after this next coming season, but he only plays 8 games, usually a year now. You do have Kendall Lamb, who did very well for Miami, but you could get, this guy to come in. He could probably play a couple games. I think it was a solid move. Damian Guzman, go Panthers. There you go, Josh. You got somebody in there.
You know what? Put me out of my misery tonight. Put me out of my misery. I want to shave this beard. I'm sick of the mediocre play by the Lightning right now. We are better than this. It's a disaster, but I'm still going to go up there and have a fun time. Man, Thursday night was not fun, guys. It was not.
Yeah, dude, I was following it, obviously, and you're a bigger hockey fan than I give that full disclosure. I obviously represent all Florida teams, especially down south, because that's where I'm from. But it's been fun for me to actually watch winning hockey when I can put it on, and then the Heat play. Of course, then better than the Marlins, and of course the Dolphins are, our thing. But fantasy football, this is your bread and butter.
Yes.
I know you and Justin and Dirtbag Dave, you guys put in the work. Your show is first off on the website, Once Upon a Sunday. What's the website? I don't want to butcher that.
OUSFFpod.com. So OUSFFpod.com.
There you go. Guys, if you love fantasy football, first off, you love fantasy football, you want great content, you want great advice, go check out that website. I love it. I thought it was so cool. I love the growth of their show and their brand. And also the show. What's the specific days? I know sometimes you change it up a little bit. What's the days that you go on?
The show, the day we're on every single week is Wednesdays. Most of the time it's 8:00 at night, depending on everyone's schedule. We all work from home, so when we can get a noon show in, that's great. And when we do noon shows or 1:00 shows, we always announce it on Twitter. So make sure you're following us on X, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. OUSFF Pod is universal everywhere. So we do make announcements when we do. Now, when we go in season, we're going to be doing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, pretty much the whole thing. And if you enjoy, your content through like reading, you like to read, you're a nerd, it's cool. We have 2 writers now. We actually got 2 writers to come on the website. So they're writing articles about the draft. We did a full 32 team draft, day one analysis. Scott Fishbowl, if you're interested in that, if you know what the Scott Fishbowl is, or you don't know, that's a good article we put out. It's the biggest fantasy football tournament in the world, all for charity. So go check all that stuff out too. We are grown, Bobby. It's crazy. And thank you. Honestly, none of this could happen without you and this network and the people we've met in this network. And it's great to see everyone grow together.
That's awesome, man. And so I know the work you guys put in, and I know that you guys already, whether you're following really the draft or not, I know you guys already have an idea of what players can make the greatest impact. Now that we've had at least 3 rounds, we're in round 4 right now of the draft, what picks have you seen that you go, and it doesn't have to be, we're not just Dolphins here, from Chicago with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, what picks are you going, damn, this was a great pick for fantasy football? Like, we know rookie quarterbacks are a dime a dozen in regards to fantasy football. I'll say people might go Jaden Daniels because they think of the passing and the running and whatever. But what picks most excited you, and which ones had you scratching your head?
Oh, man, the most exciting to me was Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals. I think getting Kyler Murray, that helped. Kyler's such an underrated quarterback, especially in the fantasy world. People like to hate on him because of his attitude. They like to make fun of him because he plays Call of Duty. They like to, make fun of his height and that he's on a closer and he doesn't care about the game as much. But, guys, this guy's a stud every single time he plays. People forget he had Hollywood Brown on pace to be a top 12 receiver that year, 2 years ago. Then Hollywood Brown got hurt. And then Kyler, of course, didn't play most of last season. So he can definitely, in all the years with Hopkins, all the years that he had with DeAndre Hopkins, he was a top 10 receiver. So replace him with Marvin Harrison. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison are going to be phenomenal. I was really worried they were going to trade out of that spot or maybe take somewhere else, and Marvin Harrison would be stuck with New England or some terrible situation. But this is the best spot for Marvin Harrison. On the flip side, the receiver I liked more, and Malik Neighbors, dude. Neighbors was such a disaster in New York. Such a disaster. I couldn't believe it. We see it every year where a player is awesome, talented, and they just go to the worst possible situation. Drake London was a perfect spot for disaster with Desmond Ridder in that situation over there in Atlanta. Now he gets a quarterback. So that's why, guys, in Dynasty, we cannot overreact. And if you don't know what Dynasty is, it's a year-long or forever-long fantasy league. You have these players forever. And if you do draft neighbors, this year is going to be awful. Daniel Jones has never supported a receiver over 1,000 yards in his career. Darius Slayton has been his top receiver 3 out of the last 4 seasons, maxing out at 750 total yards. Daniel Jones is a complete disaster. He can't get the ball downfield. He can't see the field. All he can do is run. That's all he does. People are already attacking me. Well, he was quarterback 7 in 2022. He was. He had 15 total touchdowns through the air. 15 passing touchdowns. Is that going to get the job done, Bobby, for a receiver? Tyreek will have 15 in one season by himself. How are we going to get Neighbors the ball? How are we going to get him touchdowns? How are we going to get him points if he's not scoring points through the air? Daniel Jones had 705 rushing yards that year, 7 rushing touchdowns. 38% of his fantasy points came through the ground for Daniel Jones. I hate this. I hate this so much. He fell so far for me.
What pick in fantasy would you be comfortable taking him if he's on the board for you?
So this is a weird question because you got so many different aspects, right? Like rookie drafts. We'll talk in the rookie draft realm. And my rankings, if you go on OUSFF pod, guys, we are doing fantasy rankings. Like we are doing our dynasty rankings live every single day. So I've already ranked all these guys. I have him right now below Odunze, Worthy, and he's kind of close with Brian Thomas Jr. out of Jacksonville right now. I think they're on the same level because at least we see a clear path for Thomas where he has Trevor Lawrence. He has an established quarterback that can actually throw the ball. But it's just Neighbors is way more talented. So do we pick talent or do we pick situation? Most of the times I say, guys, pick the talent. But this time I'm like, maybe we should just stay with the situation.
That's a great point. That is a great point with the situation because you think of Daniel Jones with Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas, who is a damn good receiver, but with Trevor Lawrence, who we know is a damn good quarterback. Xavier Worthy, I mean, going with Pat Mahomes and what Andy Reid could do with him, fantasy-wise, I mean, where do you have him ranked?
I have him ranked wide receiver 3 right now. I have Harrison 1.
We got to trade up. Dolphins are on the clock. The Dolphins have traded up to 120. So sorry. Sorry, Josh.
Oh, this is
Josh,
good.
You came right on time, my man.
It finally happened.
Josh, stay on through the. Don't forget the Lightning game. You guys are not gonna win. So just stay with us. No, I'm just playing. we can react together. Let's wait till it pops up here on the screen here. Let's see. First off, Scotty, yes, I saw that with Eric all coming off the board. That's why I said with these mock draft simulators, those are there for fun. We all have our own boards. We all know, like, if you like a player and you see him in the 4th round, you're like, you just can't. We're like Braden Fisk. I kept taking him in the 1st round at that time. And people go, oh, dude, he's going to be there available in the 4th round. Where did he go? He went in the 2nd round, but still, you just go with what you believe is the best player. So Eric All goes in the 4th round. Javon Foster goes to Jacksonville, offensive tackle out of Missouri. Eric All goes to Cincinnati. He's out of Iowa. The Jaguars are back on the board. They take Jordan Jefferson, defensive lineman. Tanner Bartolini, Wisconsin center. Terry Snight, linebacker of UTEP, goes to Seattle. Mason McCormick, guard, goes to South Dakota State. The Dolphins are on the board. We were waiting. I think someone has got it. Let's see it pop up here.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah, I'll wait till it pops up here. I think I know where it's going, but that's because Aladino may spoil it, but that's okay. We'll wait it out.
I'm watching NFL Network. It says coming up.
Yeah, that's what it says for me.
Now let me ask you guys, the professionals, are they going offensive here? Because I'm looking at the depth chart. They don't have much after. The receiver room is pretty thin. Or what do we think is going to happen here?
We talked about this earlier. Yeah, we touched on this a little bit earlier. And you think of the positions that they need, right? Or, again, receiver, safety makes a lot of sense. Could be, defensive line. I'm thinking about a plug and play player. A guy that could come in. He doesn't have to start, but he could come and make a day one impact with that starting rotation. So it's a plug and play player. Let's wait it out here. Let's see who it is. But that's where I think either receiver or safety is my guess.
Well,
I'm not looking at anything else.
I'm looking at who's on the board, Bobby. You got TJ Tampa on there. You got Spencer Rattler. You got Jaden Hicks. Wide receiver, you got Johnny Wilson. So for me, I don't know. That's a tough one. I like Jermaine.
I'm going to look
Trotter.
up. I don't want to go to.
I like Jermaine Trotter out of who's on the board right now. The linebacker.
Yeah. Jeremiah Trotter, I got you. Raphael, I'm going to look up what they traded, what they gave up in just a minute. I just do not want to look at Twitter right now until I see the Dolphins pick pop up. Yeah. I'm going to make my screen bigger so I don't see any comments in case somebody wants to spool it in there. I want to.
Yeah, I don't see any comments. I'm currently looking at the mock draft simulator so I can see who's left.
Kimmel, if you see it, let me know or put your hand up that way.
I'm not looking nothing.
Okay,
man,
I'm not looking.
Once I see it, I'll tell you guys. Once I see it there.
There's a lot
this is huge.
Here. Bobby, you got Christian Mahogany out of Boston College, the guard. What do you know about him?
Oh, he's a solid piece. And let me put this up here very quick, Fish Tank. These are guys, they're still available. This is the best available for according to our draft board. Jacob Cowling, wide receiver, safety Bo Braid, quarterback Joe Milton, tight end Kate Stover, TJ Tampa, corner, and then safety Jaden Hicks. Of course, there's other guys on this board that I would love that are still available, but those are our top available according to our board. So still waiting here. Pick 120. The Dolphins have traded up from
to get Brendan Rice. No, I don't know.
Oh, you son of you! Oh, I would not hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I think I'm a little more pissed that you just teased the hell out of me. So you know, damn it.
Hey, I'm just looking at names, bro. I told you that. I'm just looking at names.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't, at this point in time, they could go Spencer Rattler for all you know at this point in time.
You don't say that.
God. Don't do that to me, man.
You don't say that.
Don't do that.
I will say this. I've been wanting this for a long time. Are we comfortable with the running back room here in Miami? I'm not.
No.
Not even close.
That's a great question. No, I still think we need a thumper, man. I think we need a thumper. I love the speed. We know Devon Achen has that speed. Raheem Mostert offers, but we need someone who on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, whatever inches, you could give the ball and he pounds it in. Whether it's Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin, who's still on the board, I like him a lot. Is there anybody on your mind that you were like, man, I would like Miami to take him?
There's nobody, honestly, nobody on my mind at all. And it's because the guys I wanted are gone. And I knew they weren't going to get Brooks. I knew they weren't going to get Benson. But those are the guys I wanted. But I knew they weren't.
Fan of the years out there.
Oh, there you go. Okay, here comes the pick.
Dolphins selection. Are you seeing this too?
No, I'm not seeing. My kids have my TV. I don't have my remote. So I'm waiting for this to pop up.
I'm watching.
You're waiting for it to pop up? So you don't want me to say anything?
It'll probably pop up right a little before, maybe before you say, because we'll see.
That's a cool hat. I like that guy's hat. Bobby can't see it.
There you go. There you go. You asked the question and look.
Boom.
Look at that.
Oh, love this. Jalen White, Tennessee running back. Holy crap. Who brought him up yesterday? Brett Legacy brought him up yesterday. That's a great pick. You could put him at receiver. You could put him at running back. Jalen White. There you go. Kimmel, you slick son of a bee, man.
Listen,
coming in here.
I might have sources.
Talk about it.
No, I'm excited for this because that was the main thing. No, that was the main thing.
He tried to play it off, Bobby, like he didn't know. And then he's like, I'm not happy with their running back room. Oh, yeah.
I sit here and I'm looking at the team before I come on here. And I know the depth chart pretty well. And as a fantasy guy, I'm like, man, it'd be nice. Like they have Waddle, Tyreek, but Chan, when a rookie running back misses multiple games a season on his rookie year, I'm like, well, is this going to be who he is the rest of his life? Mostert's 32 years old. Wilson lives on the IR. Ahmed is just worthless. So I was hoping they would get a running back here. I really was, not just here, but in the fact they traded up for one. How many times did we sit here?
Yes.
And we let Javonte Williams get passed by. All these players get passed by. And they finally said, you know what? We're going to trade up for one. That's awesome. I'm happy for that. That's all.
So this is what ESPN has on him. First of all, 5'11", 210 guys. Kudos to Josh for asking this question. We know we've been talking about running back for a little while here. He is good. Jalen White is good. We got Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle, Jalen White. This is what ESPN says. White had the second fastest 40-yard dash out of all the running backs who ran at the combine this year. More speed. He's a threat to go to distance every time he touches the ball. With his quickness, White can make safeties miss without losing much momentum, and he has that extra gear to pull away once he gets a step. He steps out of tackles, flashes good contact balance, and falls forward at the end of runs. White catches passes in stride, and that speed makes him a threat after the catch. Love this pick. I've watched some of him. I think this is a solid pick. I know Brett brought this up last night, so kudos to him for bringing up Jalen White. Hell yeah. Fish Tank, your reaction, sir.
Wow. Talk about blown away. Miami actually got a running back. No way. Holy mackerel. I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't expect it. I definitely didn't expect it. Once again, third player that I didn't expect. But this one, I'm a little more excited than the first two that I saw when they first came out. So how's that? I'm pretty stoked about this. We needed some help in that running back room. There was, some banter last night about it, and I love it. I'm glad we went for it. Out of Tennessee, fast kid. I don't know if they're going to try to use him as a return specialist or if they're going to keep what's his name in there, Barrios. I don't know if they're going to keep Barrios or would they put this kid possibly.
Well, listen, I've known this about this guy. I know he can make catch. He's a very solid receiving back. And here's his combine speed, 4.38. Fish Tank.
Wow,
Josh. So they got more speed in that running back room.
He could be a return guy for all you know. With the new return system they have going on, I don't know how good he is at catching, that kind of a ball and going, but I'll tell you, if he's got that kind of speed, he could definitely be a threat in this new style kickoff. I like it.
So, man, Josh, you said you weren't comfortable with that room. Thank you. Rob, can you, what's the trade terms? Thank you, Ralph. I was just going to try to look that up. What are the official trade terms on this pick? Did we give up a third next year? Is that what we did to move up here? Did we give up 158 as well? We'll see. But Josh, man, you said you weren't comfortable with the running back room. Obviously, you got to look more into this guy, but do you feel good that they went ahead and did this?
I feel good that they finally made an initiative to make the running back feel important on their team. Like I said, right before you guys spoke, like they finally traded up and grabbed a running back that they like. Achane and this kid for the next 3 years seems awesome. We already talked about Mostert's age, 32 years old. First time last year, by the way, Mostert's ever carried the ball for more than 200 times in a season. First time ever.
Third from next year. Sorry.
No, you're good. And we needed that pass catching back. Miami didn't have a pass catching back. Achane didn't really have the hands that I liked, especially. But you're right, Bobby. I kind of wanted a thumper. Like, the speed's awesome. It's great. It's great for the team, more speed. But again, they didn't address the thumper. Hopefully they do address that sometime in free agency or, whatever, after the draft. But yes, more speed equals more points. And I'm harder to cover. I love it.
I think it's
I
great.
call that the McDaniel pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look at that. 4.38 speed at 210 pounds. And this guy's shredded.
Yep.
This guy is shredded. And let me just say again, I saw Rob put it on Twitter that no one knew that or called this. Again, credit to on the overtime host Brett Lagasse, who did bring up at the end of the night Jalen White. That's a possibility for Miami as a running back he would look at. So good call out there. But my goodness, I love this pick. I think it's a solid pick. This is a Fish Tank is absolutely right. This screams Mike McDaniel. Actually, all three of these picks do. He talked about edge rusher every year in the defensive line at first round, but all these guys are fast. They got that speed. I mean, he really is trying to make. I'm trying to get the official. Okay. So they did. So it looks like the Eagles traded pick 122 Miami for just the 2025 third round pick. So Miami moves up for the third round into the fourth round, just using a third rounder next year. They still got their fifth 158 coming up, as far as I know. So there you go.
Right, has fumbling issues.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up into him. Raphael, thank you. We'll look into him and talk more about him, of course, as we go. Didn't give up any picks this year. That's great. So we still got picks, man. I wrote on here. I effing love this pick. I effing love this pick. So right now, fellas, we got 90 people tuning in right now between Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So everyone tuning in right now, thank you so much. You're watching the FinS Sports Network draft coverage show. The Dolphins, who didn't have a pick in the fourth round, trade up to get a running back, Jalen Wright. As Tati was correcting me. She's like, you're saying white. It's right. It's like, okay. But I love it. Dutch King loves the picks. So do I. Let's see here. He has fumbling issues. I'm going to look that up, but I take your word for it, brother. We'll look into him, but you're adding more speed in that room. And again, this is good. I feel like this could be this under the radar type of pick, the one like we all saying, oh, I didn't think of this, and this is the pick. I love this pick. You add, and this is an offensive weapon as a receiver too. Do not sleep on this guy as a receiver coming out of that backfield. Now again, in Kimmel talk, I would say, I don't know how much he could offer you fantasy wise because of that running back room, Kimmel. I mean, you got Achin, you got Mozart. I don't know what this means for Jeff Wilson. Does this mean Fish Tank? Does Wilson's out? But Kimmel, fantasy wise, what does Jalen White offer, do you think?
I think you're right, and you're also wrong in saying that he won't have an impact. He's definitely going to have an impact.
Okay.
Like I said before, Jeff Wilson, and this is totally as a fantasy, I count him out. 0. As a total 0, undraftable, will not be on any roster that I have. Same thing goes for, honestly, Raheem Mostert this year. I like Raheem Mostert, but let's be honest, he kind of fell off at the end. He, like I said, it's the first time ever having over 200 carries in a season, ever. This is the first ever healthy season he's ever had, and he's 32 years old now. He will be in there for situational plays. He's going to be a big impact. But when Achane was there, Achane was the dude. Now they want to move forward, and they want to get this new right kid in there. They traded up for him. That tells me they want him. They want to utilize him. Maybe the end of the season, kind of like how these rookies come on at the very end of the season. If you watch, if you pay attention to fantasy football, that's where you'll get the most play from him because he's not going to play day one. He's not going to play weeks 1 through 5 probably. But I love this guy, especially in the dynasty aspect. He's definitely creeping up my boards and definitely the running back 3 for me. I just updated my rankings as you guys were talking. I have him right there with Benson, right below Benson from the Cardinals when they drafted him.
Let me read up.
Great.
So Bobby, let me ask you this. You get Achane, and
yes, sir.
Now you get our new running back in the backfield, and then you split them out wide. What are teams going to do?
You can't. You got Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Wright. You got Devon Achin. It gives me Oprah Winfrey. You get a ball. You get a ball. You get a ball. Everybody gets a ball.
Yeah.
Let's read up what
wow.
what NFL.com.
That's a mind blower because we have two of the fastest running backs. We have two of the fastest wide receivers. You throw all of them on the field at the same time. That's a mind blower.
and forgive me, guys, because I don't have anything on him, so I'm going to read. That's why I'm reading this off. So, but Jalen Wright. So NFL.com, Lance Storyline. He has a 6.33 grade on him. Will eventually be a plus starter. He had a round 3 projection. He compares him to Melvin Gordon. An explosive back with good size and breakaway speed. Running style is more linear than free-flowing, which limits his cut smoothness and elusiveness on the second level. Won't stop him from putting yards on the stats. He regularly bounce runs wide and pursue around the corner. He's capable of running with power, but will default to finesse at times. He has big play potential and talent as a pass catcher. Should make him a day 2 target and a future starter. So that's what NFL Lance Storyline NFL.com says about him. So I like this pick.
The interesting thing to me is how well is he going to pick up pass protecting? Everyone likes to talk about, he's a third down back, just because he's a good pass catcher. That's not true, guys. We need pass protection out of these running backs, especially in the shotgun on third downs. So let's see if he could pick that up right away. That's going to definitely play a huge role in his early starting stages if he does get the ball get on the field early in the early weeks. See if he could pass protect. I think they're lacking that in Miami, especially from the running back position. Let's see if he can do that. I have no idea. I've never seen him play in Tennessee, but I'm looking at the stats right now and not too bad, not too shabby. I'm pretty happy with this.
Trade the rest of our picks. I don't want to do that. I think the way the draft is falling. Let me go over what's going on right now since we have we are currently moving along here. The Seattle Seahawks take tight end AJ Barner from Michigan. The first punter comes off the board to Chicago. Torrey Taylor out of Iowa goes to Chicago Bears. Tight end Cade Stover out of Ohio State off the board to the Houston Texans. Wake Forest safety Malik Mustafa, fish tank, you brought him up earlier, goes to the 49ers. And running back Bucky Irving, Oregon, goes to the Buccaneers. Bucky goes to the Buccaneers. That freaking kicks.
They were wanting him. Local radio was talking about him all day today, and they wanted him bad. So the Buccaneers got Bucky Irving. Good job. He's pretty good, too, at Oregon. I've seen him play football. He's shifty. And
let me just say this, too, because I'm seeing Daniel talking about we don't need a running back. People say we don't need an edge rusher. We got Chop Robinson. We have Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. They say we don't need a safety. We got Javon Holland and Jordan Porter. We don't need a receiver. We got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. We don't need a running back. We got Mozart and Achin. Mozart could be gone next year. We don't need a tackle. We have Terran Armstead. Armstead could be gone next year. Jordan Porter is going to be gone next year. Phillips is on a contract year, 5th-year option. Bradley Chubb could be gone next year. These are and he is a player. Again, this is a plug-and-play player. This is not a player who's going to sit on your bench. This is a guy who's going to make impact for you next year, at least on the field, in some sort of way, whether outside at receiver and some plays, as Fishink has brought up, as a return person possibly. Same thing as a Chop Robinson. He's a plug-and-play player. Does he start? He could probably start the season because Bradley might not, Chubb, but throughout the season, plug and play, rotational, that's what it is. I think this has been a solid move so far. Again, positional wise, there's some players better on the board in regards to the first 2 picks, the second pick, but this pick, I think this was a solid move. I like this move.
Can I ask something, Bobby, to everyone watching and to you guys? The people that are saying we don't need the running back, we don't need this. Especially running backs. How many 1,000-yard seasons has Raheem Mostert ever had in his career? I'm curious. He's played since 2015. How many? He's had 1. How many times, like I already stated, over 200 rushing attempts? Only once. He had more touchdowns last year than he's ever had in his career combined. Guys, this was the anomaly. This was the outlier. We cannot put our full stock in a 32-year-old running back who's been a failure his entire season. Like, failure is a bad word, but
that's strong.
But hold on. But considering the
I know where you're coming from.
Considering the other
Pulling out the big stick, Bobby.
I'm just
dang. He's a failure his whole life. Shouldn't even be here. It's like,
but
God.
What I'm saying is, like, the guy has never been reliable ever since. But his 31st year is on Earth. He was finally reliable. We can't rely on that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't rely on that every single year. I'm sorry.
His 31st year of life. Like, goddamn. We're judging his life.
We're talking about Derrick Henry, and people are like, oh, he's on the downturn. Like, you know, the national. He's on the downturn. He's this and that. He's younger than Raheem Mostert, and he's had a more successful career.
Preach, brother, preach.
What are we doing here, people? What do you mean we don't need him? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That is great, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap.
Oh, he's on life support.
I mean, you know, I had an interesting stat fantasy wise and I don't have the numbers on me, and I wish I did, but remember the year Jamal Williams in Detroit scored like a bajillion touchdowns, and he was in fantasy. If you guys play fantasy, he was a running back, top 10 guy. I believe like 40% of his fantasy points. Jamal Williams. He plays for the Saints now, but he played for Detroit. It was that year he scored like a billion touchdowns. There was a stat where I looked up. I think like 42% of his fantasy points came from red zone attempts. Mostert had the exact same numbers as Jamal Williams as far as fantasy points coming from red zone attempts. The 21 touchdowns, this is just fantasy talk, guys, put him in a spot where he shouldn't have never been in the rankings. Those 21 touchdowns, if he ever scores 20 touchdowns again in the remainder of his career, I'll be surprised. 20 in a year again? There ain't no way. That doesn't happen twice, especially at the running back position. That doesn't happen unless you're LaDainian Tomlinson, Priest Holmes, or one of these super studs. It just doesn't happen. The fact that we're trying to rely on an old busty guy is kind of crazy to me, but it is what it is. I'm happy with the pick.
Happy with the pick. I'm happy that the pick was made while you were on, because I know you got a little bit of time that you're able to spare for us today. And in 158, I was a little nervous. I was like, okay, well, you know, at least he can give me his thoughts on the players we've made and maybe give me a thought of who they might come next. And of course, they trade up. I stopped you halfway compared to what you were talking about before. And then there you come in clutch. You're like, guys, you said all this, but what about a running back? Where do we feel uncomfortable? And all of a sudden, they take a running back. Holy shit! You know, of course, and then you beat the shit out of.
Have you on more often? Who else are we looking at? Next?
You know, I'm a one and done kind of guy. That's it. I got one.
Hey, while you're at it, what's the lottery numbers? Go.
624.
There you go. And this is why you guys should be following Josh for fantasy football advice. He knows his look what he did. He was right on, and he hit the hammer on the head with the Dolphins. Yeah. I mean, in regards of running back. Lions pick is coming up now. The kids were nice enough to put it on the TV for me. You know,
are you enjoying the show? But do you play the show? MLB the show? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. You know,
I want to get it.
Yeah. Do you have PlayStation, right?
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah, it's on on Xbox. I have Xbox, but I have it on a Game Pass. They do it every year for free. You know, they just throw it on Game Pass. Right when the game comes out. So I'm like, oh, you know, I throw it on, and you know, it's fun. And my son loves it, so he's getting more into baseball because of it. You know,
it's a great game, great franchise.
Oh, here we go. We got Coach Vogel coming in here, give his thoughts. And I will say this too. I want to touch with you too, Kimmel, on Fortnite, man. I've been my son and my brother been going nuts. I saw you message your tweet the other night. Let's get Coach Vogel in here.
Coach!
And
what's
my
up,
brother.
Fellas? What's up? How's it going?
Hey, the Dolphins trade up. We thought we had some time. Dolphins trade up. They get a running back. Your thoughts, my man?
Well, I think McDaniels definitely has a style. Right, home run hitters track club. I think we're calling them the 4x4 sprint club on the NFL Draft channel. So he definitely has a style. And yeah, I mean, you know, if they think we need it, good. Let's rock and roll.
There you go. Also, we got Mike the Hebrew Hammer Brown, host of the Beer Sports Whatever podcast, friend of the channel, family. I call him family. He's not a friend. He's family. Let me throw him on here, man. My brother, it is so freaking good to see you. How you doing?
You too, man. Great. No, thanks for having me. What a day. Good start to the day. Jalen.
Whoa, like Kimmel comes on here. I thought we were going to wait till the 5th round. He jumps on and, we're talking. All of a sudden, I had to stop him being rude. I go, hey, whoa, shut the hell up. Wait, we got to pick. And then he goes, so what do you guys think? I'm going, well, safety, receiver. He goes, what about running back? And all of a sudden, here comes a running back. So, Mike, my man, obviously I haven't heard from you in regards of the other 2 previous picks. But before we go there, talk to me about this one. How you feeling? Raw reaction.
It's interesting. Maybe this is finally like the pick that gets Selvin Ahmad off the roster. Like that's a guy that stuck around what feels like for like 10 years. Like I like Ahmad, but this pick, I like this pick. I like this pick a lot because I love Mostert, but like Jeff Wilson doesn't get it done for me. They still have Achane, I should say. So it's an interesting pick, but it's just more speed. Like Coach was just saying, I like the pick a lot, man. I think they could have gone in another direction, but I like it. I mean, that's what you need. You need offense in this league to win. With first round, it was what? The first 12 picks were offense? Did I have that right? Like it's crazy. And I think the Dolphins.
Was it 12 or 14?
I think it was 12 or 4. I knew it was.
I think it's 14.
Yeah, that's
insane. And then Colts at 15 finally picked the first defensive guy.
Yeah, and I think honestly, this was the front office identifying best player available. He's a top 3 running back in this class, and I think the Dolphins did a good job of identifying who they wanted, trading with Philly, and going to get him.
Love it. Wife stopped me for asked me a question. So you talk. Will Shipley just came off the board to Clemson. That was a solid move. I like Will Shipley out of Clemson. But now I want to get your thoughts on the last 2 picks for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
First of Chop Robinson out of Penn State, and then of course your alma mater, Houston. Hey, they got your boy Patrick Paul. So before we go to Chop Robinson, talk to me about this tackle, man.
Blessed is an understatement that I've watched a lot of Paul the last few years here in Houston. The dude is a monster. I mean, the dude is a freaking wall. And we all know Teron Armstead's probably going to miss at least 4 to 7 games. I think this is his last year in Miami. And look, do I love the pick? No, but I like it a lot. I mean, the guy is just a mountain of a man. He called out the offensive line coach, Butch Berry, by name, which is good. I think our offensive line outperformed last year based on the guys that they had. Look, I think between the 2 picks for Miami, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, it's weird because there's no boom or bust for me with these 2 guys. I think they're just really good, solid depth picks. Like, they're not A's, but I don't think that they're going to be D's or F's. Like, they're just identifying dudes that are going to come in, do their job. Are they going to be all pros? Probably not. But I think the Dolphins have done a really good job this draft, which is crazy. Like, and that's what, as fans, first of all these people on Twitter who are upset, you're all morons. I'm sorry. Like, that's the way I see it.
Preach.
Like all of these guys who, first of all, none of us know what these guys are going to be in the league. And, arguing about, well, this guy is going to be a bust. He literally just became a Dolphin 2 days ago. Like, relax. Okay. But no, with Paul, I like it a lot. With Chop, I mean, look, it's Jalen Phillips insurance and Bradley Chubb insurance. And you can never have enough pass rushers, especially being in the AFC. With the type of quarterbacks that are in the AFC, you can never have enough of these guys.
That's absolutely fair. And look, running back. Everybody, some people questioning running back right now for Miami in the comments I saw. But if you look at it, Miami traded up for Jalen Wright. Tati keeps correcting me. Jalen Wright. But Bucky Irving goes to Tampa. Running back Will Shipley goes to Philly. Ray Davis from Kentucky. Running back goes to Buffalo. So Miami moved ahead of the curve. And they go get their guy instead of sitting and waiting for that guy to fall to them. Same kind of thing I think what happened with Patrick Paul. They knew who they wanted. They liked him. But they didn't want to risk either trading back and not getting him. They said, hey, we're going to get ahead of the curve, get our tackle now, instead of waiting and losing him if we had to move back. Again, I think, and, I have my comments and reservations on Chris Greer, but I have to say, I think this has been a solid draft by the Dolphins. I really do. Yes, obviously we all have ideas of where they should have gone or who they should have gotten. But if you really take a step back and you look at what they're doing, and as Rob had brought up in the comments, the moves have been more about looking ahead while also, again, these are plug-and-play players. You know, you think about Chop Robinson. He could start day one for you because Bradley Chubb may not start the year. But when he does, then you got Bradley Chubb, you got Jalen Phillips, and you got Chop Robinson with Shaq Barrett. That's a solid edge rushing core right there. And you got Chop Robinson who's going to be a plug-and-play throughout the year. Patrick Paul, you go, okay, but we got Armstead, we got Lamb, we got Jackson. Well, look how many injuries were on our offensive line last year. Now you know that once Terran Armstead got, I would say if, but it's not. It's once when and if he does get hurt, you put in Kendall Lamb. But if Kendall Lamb gets hurt, you put in Patrick Paul, or you plug in Patrick Paul at right tackle. You move in Austin Jackson the guard if you have to in a situation. That's plug and play. Jalen White, plug and play. Yeah. He's not going to be some guy you'll never see. He's going to be involved in this offense. He's going to be involved in week to week. These are solid moves by the Miami Dolphins, which we know the window is closed because of the talent that we have, that these are moves that Miami's saying, hey, these are going to help us compete next season for that AFC East that they fell back and lost out on before getting eliminated. Any other players named Jalen? Yeah, I know, right? We got, maybe that's who we should be looking for.
Is Jalen Reagor on the block?
That's right. We got all the Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phipps, and Jalen Wright. Let me see here.
Speaking of confusing people with names, I think Brendan Rice will be coming up for us. That's who I like. I like Brendan Rice if he's sitting there.
Hey, he has the size. I like his size. He has the pedigree. We know that. He has that pedigree, just like Jeremiah Trotter, linebacker to Clemson, but Rice 6'2", 208. I wouldn't be against it. But we know we got to look for Fish Tank. You got to look at that speed, brother. What was his 40 time in the combine?
I know.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I'm just dreaming a little bit. I'm just dreaming as a number 3. I'm just dreaming a little.
I ain't hating on you. I ain't hating on it. I'm not hating on it. I ain't disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's a great point. I would like him because you think about the pedigree, but another running back off the board,
dude.
Yep.
Dolphins started a trend.
Who was it? Let's see.
Yeah, Isaac Guerendo.
The Dolphins started a trend, man.
Yeah.
Will Shipley,
Isaac Guerendo out of Louisville.
Ray Davis,
that's who I wanted, but I'm happy with who we got.
Since Wright, I think.
Greer started the OT run and the running back run.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. Look at that. So, very quick, Mike, man, you haven't been on a little bit. What have you been up to? Beer Sports, whatever. You guys still going strong?
Still going strong. Do a show a week. Pops and I getting into, it's crazy, man. I was thinking about it last night. We had the draft, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, hockey playoffs, like all on the same night. It's a great time right now. And
it really is.
Honestly, like I want to go back to like the Dolphins. I don't know what is going on, Chris. We're just having a good draft.
Yeah.
Thank God we're not Falcons fans. I mean, my God. Holy goodness gracious. Just throwing that out there. What the hell they're doing, I have no idea.
Are you talking about the Penix draft pick?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
You like it?
I don't mind it. 36-year-old quarterback coming off a major Achilles injury, I believe.
I couldn't hate that pick more. Honestly,
I understand why most people hate it, but the Vikings traded. I talked to a Vikings fan daily. They traded for a backup quarterback last year. They traded for one last year. The quarterback position is so valuable, and apparently the draft is so dry with quarterbacks next year. If you like a guy enough, go get him.
But
you won't have to worry about quarterback for the next 15 years.
He's 24. So they go and get a guy who is injury plagued in college to back up an injury plagued guy that they just gave $180 million to. I don't understand it. I don't get it at all, especially in the NFC South. That sucks. Like they had their choice of defensive players there. I don't get it. I just don't. I think it's
fair.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It just made sense to me, but I understand why most people don't.
It would have made to me. I think what makes it make less sense for me, because it made sense when they did it, but then when you look at Kirk Cousins' contract, that's what I'm kind of like. If he was like on a more fair deal, whatever, then it would have made sense, because you're drafting someone who could eventually replace him. But then you're like 4 years at $100 and whatever million. It's like, really, you signed Kirk Cousins with the talent you have already to try to make a run. We know what you're trying to do, but you use that first round pick on Michael Penix. And not that Penix is bad. Penix, injuries aside, is a solid quarterback who'd be a solid pro, after a year or two, on the bench. We know that. But it's like, that's where I question it. It's just the contract you gave Cousins. If it was anything else, it makes a lot more sense. TJ Tampa off the board to Baltimore corner at Iowa State. And then Jared Riley, tight end TCU, goes to Kansas freaking City.
Yeah, I wanted
Jared Riley.
The rich get richer.
My God, Buffalo, if I didn't hate you enough at the beginning of this draft, what the hell they did in the first round, giving that pick to Kansas City instead of taking Xavier Worthy, then trading back again and missing out on another receiver. I love it.
I think they're trying to help us out. They're trying to.
Did they get Keon Coleman, the 33rd pick overall? Not bad. Buffalo.
I do like Keon Coleman a lot. I'm a big Keon Coleman fan. Not as much as AD Mitchell from Texas, because I think that kid's going to be an all-pro. I have no idea how that guy fell into the second round. I watched a lot of him this year. That dude can ball. Man, he had a good year.
Let me see here.
Wingate said it last night. Wingate said he had some off the field issues.
AD.
And then also he's type 2 diabetic, which somebody came out with some crazy story that made him fall. So the general manager for the Colts went off. He was dropping F-bombs and stuff in his presser about how disappointing it is when unnamed sources put stuff out there and don't own up to it, and you end up hurting the kid's draft stock.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with that in a little bit. You are who you surround your those people with, right?
Yeah. Do y'all have a favorite pick outside of the Dolphins from today? I love that kid, Chris Brooks, who went to Carolina. Jonathan Brooks, the kid who got drafted by the running back from Texas.
Yeah.
Heck of a pickup by Carolina. I like what Carolina's done this draft.
Yeah, the receiver, pick 32 overall, and plus that Jatavian Sanders. Wingate told me about him.
Yeah.
So he's going to be pretty decent. I like that they're trying to get Bryce some weapons and some people in the offensive. I love it.
Yeah. Now, Sanders, half my family went to University of Texas, so we watched a decent amount of Texas football. They got some dudes. Sanders falling to where he fell to. I didn't understand that one. I would have liked Miami to take him, but crazy.
All right. Let's see here. Pick is in for Detroit. All right.
Bobby, my ride's here for the Bolts game. I got to dip
my
out.
Man.
Here.
Have fun, man.
I would say good luck tonight, but I don't mean it. But thank you so much. Down goes lightning.
Hey, you know what? You can't come back from an 0-3 deficit until you go 0-3. So don't worry. We're winning 4 straight. Bolts in 7.
All right. Bring it, brother. All right, my man. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate
you.
Thanks for coming, Josh.